There's this poem that this that my friend sent me. It's called Footprints in a Sand poem, and I love this poem. One night a man had a dream. He dreamed he was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene he noticed two sets of footprints, one belonging to him and the other to the Lord. When the last scene of his life flashed before him, he looked back at the footprints in the sand. He noticed that many times along the path of his life there was only one set of footprints. He also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest time of his life. This really bothered him, and he questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said that once I decided to follow you, you walk with me all the way. But I have noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there is only one set of footprints. I don't understand why, when I needed you most, you would leave me. The Lord replied, my son, my precious child, I love you, and I will never leave you during your times of trial and suffering. When you see only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. And this poem speaks to me. It speaks volumes to me because recently I have been feeling all alone. I felt like maybe this is my time to just, like I said, as always, it's time to fly away from the nest. This is what I thought. Maybe God felt like I was ready to be on my own. And honestly, I also thought that God had turned the other cheek on me, to be real. So instead of sitting here pitying myself, I decided to get up and just, do what I had to do. And sometimes we feel like this. We feel like we're alone, and we feel like maybe it is time for us to, leave and do what we have to do. Maybe it's time for us to um, face the world on our own. And I recently been hearing a lot, take courage, take courage. It's time for us to take courage, you know, and follow along the path that God has prepared for us. This is our time to keep walking. And that's what I thought, you know, honestly. Um, I was sad, and I just didn't understand. But at the same time, I do know that I'm not the only one, and that's what we have to keep in mind. We're not the only one. God works for everyone. And although those times we feel like we want to be selfish with God, we want God to only be our own, just as our parent or our mother. We want to be that child that every time we call, we are answered. But we have to keep in mind that we have brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters in Christ, and they need God too. So at times, just like before I mentioned, you have that favorite special, you know, teddy bear of yours, and you just want to hold on to it, you know. But there's a time where you have to grow up, and you have to let go, and you have to learn to do things on your own, you know. And I feel like, I also feel like this with my own mother, honestly. My mother, she, I be wanting to, reach out. I can reach out, but I kind of hold off because I don't want to worry her. Usually, in the past, I would call her and I would tell her, about all that was going on and giving her more time, more reasons to worry about me. I used to run to her, in the middle of the night. I used to drive home, and, stay there because I was afraid. But God moves you away from situations so that you can see for yourself that you are strong, that it is time to grow up. You know, it is time to be an adult and it is time to let go. God will always be with you. And at those moments when you feel like God isn't carrying you, God is carrying you. You know, you may think that you're alone, but it takes for you to wonder. It takes for you to maybe doubt that God is with you just so God just can see that you are strong. Just so that you can see for yourself how strong you are. Because sometimes we be in God's arms a little bit too long and we start to become crippled to ourselves without believing in ourselves. And that's why I love this poem. You know, I love this poem. It's just a reminder. You know, when you think you're alone, you're not alone. And if you are, God is still watching over you. But you also need to be strong for yourself. It takes two. I was just recently talking to this guy, and he was talking about how he carried on um, a lot of his, like a lot of the stuff that he does at work. He does it, but there's also other workers, you know, and they're not, you know, helping out enough or helping out the way that they should be. And this person is taking on more than they can carry. You know, you can tell this person is very, you know, tired, but at the same time, um, he seems like, you know, he can do it, he can handle it. You know, like I said, at times, like, even, you know, when you feel like you can't do it, this is when other people believe in you. Just look at it as other people believe in you more than you believe in yourself. The fact that they're giving you, you know, they have you, they're expecting this from you. They're expecting a lot from you. You know, they look at you as some type of superhuman, some type of superman, or with this superpower. They look at you as not only human, like you're capable. The reason that they give you all of these tasks and give you more than you expect is because they expect more from you. It's a lot of time, well, like I said, my mom treats me the same way. You know, sometimes I question, I'm like, why do you help this person, or why do you help my sister when you know I'm going through the same thing? You know, why do you reach out to my brother more than you reach out to me? Why do you, you know, do this or do that, or you, um, when I feel like I need somebody to talk to, why do you talk to, you know, you communicate with my older sister more than you do with me? You know, why? You know, I can go on and I can go on because it's just like I'm put in situations. Well, she actually, you know, sometimes she say it's because I don't have to worry about you. You know, I know that you can handle it, and in this way, like I said, you can think about it in another from another angle or another direction. You know, even if they tell you, like they tell you they believe in you, they know that you can do it, and they feel like, you know, you can do it, but are they truly thinking about you? You know, I know I can do it, but I'm human too. I am human. I don't have the superpower, and that's what we always want to say. Like, I'm not superhuman. You know, I'm not as strong as you think I am. You know, I have feelings too. You know, my mind hurts too. I have headaches too. I have aches and pains too. You know, I can't do it all on my own, and I need help. And sometimes this is when you actually have to speak your mind. You have to confront the situation. You have to talk to those people and let them know that you need help. Tell them what's going on. You know, because if you don't, as my stepdad always say, and this is his little, you know, mark on my life that he just, you know, he just stuck into my head. A closed mouth don't get fed. I was in a point where I was working and I got fed up. You know, I got fed up to the point where I matured. You get fed up to the point where you grow up. You know, you go into that office, you walk into that office, and you tell that, you know, you tell your boss or your manager how you feel. Tell them, you know, learn to speak up for yourself. Once you start learning to speak up for yourself, that's when you'll notice a change. That's when you'll notice, you know, things become easier because they can't read your mind. You have to let them know. And even if, you know, they think they know, they don't know. You have to show them, you know, show them, tell them, speak up for yourself. If you're tired, let them know that you are tired. Sometimes they overestimate us, you know. They expect so much from us, and we can only give so much. We have to let them know, and that's just the truth. You know, and it's not going and complaining about this person, that person, or the third. It's not going and complaining about them. It's going and telling them how you feel about it. How it's making you feel, and don't be upset. I mean, don't be afraid, because if they don't take you seriously, and if they don't, care about what you're saying, then that's when it's time to move on. But don't go ahead and be like, I'm going to go somewhere else because I think they know how I feel, when they really don't know, because you're just going to go through the same thing somewhere else because you're not speaking up for yourself. You're going to go through the same thing. A lot of people's going to see, and that's the thing. We see what you do. A lot of people see what you do, and the fact that you do what you do is so good, they're going to expect that. They're going to expect more of that and more of that and more of that. Trust me, I've been in a job, and I've been employed. I've been hired. I've been everywhere. And I know how it is. And if you don't speak up, it's going to go on. Moving from job to job to job is not going to make a difference. And that's the thing about showing your hand a little bit too soon. And that's what we do. We walk into a situation, we show our hand a little bit too soon, and now, you done laid all the cards on the table. And now you're expected to amount. You're expected to walk your talk. You're expected to keep on going like you're some type of machine or robot. If you can do it and I see you're doing it, what do I have to worry about? What am I concerned about? You can do it. But unless you come to me and tell me, I'm kind of tired, tell me, express how you feel. I feel like I just need to, take it easy. All it is, I was able to work like this. I came to you and I showed you everything that I could do. I showed you that I was capable. But, I did it. Now that your foot is in the door, explain to them how you're feeling. It don't even have to be personal. It don't have to be emotional. Just tell them straight up, I'm not moving the same way that I was. I had a little bit too much energy then because, I was excited. It's a new job, and I'm, but then eventually, as I got used to everything, I just feel like it's too much, I need to take it easy. I need to slow down. And if other people are taking advantage of you, let that be known as well. And like I said, if they don't take you seriously or they don't want to listen to you, there's more fish in the sea. There's more job opportunities out there for you, to go catch, to go get, because you're the catch. You're the catch, and that's what people need to understand. You're the catch. And when they're not going to find another person like you that's going to do everything like you or get the job done like you. You are the catch. So therefore, keep that in mind. So I was kind of off topic, but yeah, that's just a conversation I was having with somebody that was expressing to me the way they felt about other people. And it's just that if you don't take care of yourself, no one else is going to take care of you. No one's going to take care of you. You have to take care of yourself, But you can become mentally drained, exhausted. At a time where I was going through grief, I wound up, shutting down. I was doing everything, but I knew that there was also something on my mind that, was going to take a toll on my mind and obviously affect my work ethic, or affect the way that I work. So sometimes you just need to take that time to grieve. And that's the thing, when you need to grieve, your workplace will put you on leave. They put me on leave because of what I was going through. And they were understanding enough to say, you know what, go ahead and go and then come back when you're feeling better. Eventually I did come back, but it was a little bit too soon. And I wound up, leaving that job. I wound up not being able to go back because I was, I was always leaving. Because of the simple fact that, like I said, I went back too early, and then it's just like you go back too many times, eventually they're going to see it as repetitive, and, you're going and you're coming, you're going and you're coming, so therefore we're going to have to let you go because we can't depend on you or rely on you to be around. But I did appreciate the fact that, they were understanding and they were letting me come back, but like I said, I went back a little bit too soon. So yeah, nobody is going to think of you the way you think of yourself. I wasn't reading the Bible. I didn't have a close relationship with God at that time. Spiritually, I was strong in faith, but I didn't have that close relationship with God to where, I didn't have that foundation. And when you have a foundation, that's where you can kind of stand strong in these type of experiences. You can stand stronger than you usually are because you know your faith, you're grounded, and you have that foundation, a place where you won't fall so easily. And I fell because I didn't have a foundation. I was just spiritual, and then, the loss of my dad, I wound up turning to the Bible.